Alright, well, I'm gonna test out some contracts that expire next Friday. I bought them in this area here, and I'm gonna hold them through to next week and see how they hold up. See how they go. See what happens. It looks like it just looks like they're in trouble. Almost like they had to try to stack up shorts the last 2 days just to make this happen. And this here is still lining up with my theory that all of those daily dark pool fucking reroutes that they did are catching up. If you don't understand what I'm saying about that, there's not a lot of information about how dark pools work other than, expert testimony and shit like that. But it's typically you take a large order, and obviously instead of it going straight onto the lit market and blasting the price up or blasting the price down, they split it up into little chunks. Like no one knows exactly how they do it. Do they break it up weekly, or is it like a certain amount goes in 1 week, and then another amount goes in next week, another amount goes in next week? It's supposed to be divvied up over like 30 to 35 days. And again, I've heard it can be up to 90 days depending on how large the order is. So say you do that once. You have one big order that comes in on the dark pool. So it's just the one order and for that day. So it would be split up weekly and then done. No big deal. Well, you start doing that every single day. Every day you're taking orders and routing them to the dark pool. Yeah, for that month that you're doing that, you're going to be, cutting the price up. You're going to be cutting it down, chopping it up into those like maybe 4 increments. That one order would be 4 payments, I guess. Think of it that way, like installments into the stock. But if you're doing it every single day, eventually you get to the point to where it's not broken up anymore. Eventually you get to the point where there's so many orders that every single day now, back to back to back, because you were doing it every day, you're going to run into a timeline where every single day you're getting chunks and movements from all those orders you were routing every day. And it'll catch up to you. And I don't know if that's what's happening, but if this continues, if this right here continues without like any serious fucking shorting taking place to try to stop it, I'm going to venture a guess that that's what's happened and that's where we're at. And they're in deep shit if that's the case. Of how many orders that people have estimated have been routed in the dark pool over all of July pretty much, and first week of August. Like there's going to be no stopping this at least at the beginning of the day. There's going to be no fucking stopping the initial movement of the orders being, pumped in. And I'm sure that's how it works. It's split up, and then at the beginning of one day, 1 week, it'll fucking throw the shares in there right in the morning. Some computerized system controlling it, I'm sure. We'll see. That's just, again, that was just a theory. Because this is all new shit. That's what everyone needs to understand. This is all new. Nothing like this has ever happened in the stock market before. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Even the other short squeezes people talk about, they had nothing to do with retail. Retail was not a part of that. They didn't have any control over that. There wasn't this stop wall of 4 million plus free-willed individuals controlling what happens in that narrative. So all of this is different. All of their tactics, a lot of them, while the same, and there's information on them that you can read about, there's not really any sort of study guide. There's not a playbook for this. There's not something that, has been drawn up where you can like circle this and go, yeah, right here. Oh, they did this back in 2008 and blah, 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 blah. Like there's none of that. And technology has advanced so much since the last big squeeze or squeeze scenario that, I mean, there's no way to map this, chart this. There's just not. And the type of manipulation that has taken place, since July till what seemingly looks like, a little over a week ago, um, that shit ain't never been seen before. You're not gonna find a chart anywhere that matches the type of movement and shit and the way that all that looked, all that boxy shit. Remember how I talked about the boxy shit? Looked real computerized, real choppy, like you could draw perfect fucking squared lines with corners. Now we're getting back to this wavy shit, starting to look, a little more rounded, a little more normal, like real fucking orders and shit are coming through, real legitimate buying and sell pressure versus each other rather than a computer executing basically everything that's going on. I mean, you can even see it here. That's part of the reason why I think a lot of this is, a computer from the dark pools, returning all those fucking orders that have finally caught up to where they're going to hit on a daily basis now because there was just so much abuse of it. Because that, it looks a little more boxy at the beginning of the day, even up to here. And this could have been some sell-offs too, because I know there's a lot of people that, I mean, we were just at $30 not that long ago. So this could be some sell-offs too, but I'm sure there's some shorting involved there. And we'll see, because I mean, I knew they had some shit stored. I know they had something up their sleeve. They're not just rolling over and dying, but they're losing. Like they're running out of options. Um, so we'll see, man. We'll see how this week goes. I want to say that this is good to see this now already on Wednesday, having to do this. I was really, really expecting to see it maybe tomorrow and Friday, depending on where we ended. Because had this not happened, we'd be at $40 now. We would already be coasting over 40. And if this shit goes to 40 by the end of the week, naturally, like stair stepping up into the 40s instead of this crazy rapid move up and then move down or whatever, that's very bad for them. This shit organically stair steps up to that level again. It's just basing, it's consolidating, like normal TA can kind of be applied to this stock again, which means it's reacting normally. It's not being as hardcore manipulated as it was, as what we've watched. I know it seems like forever. July was just a very, very long month. The last half of June was very long, just watching, gains start to disappear. And then July just seems like it was a year long, man. It just seems like it was a fucking year long. But you have a lot of shit that's, like on a 30 to 60 day fucking basis in the stock market with these big fucking hedge funds and shit. Um, Especially that dark pool shit, if that's, that's the legitimate way it works, that's somewhere between 30 and 60 days, and I believe 35 was the average that I read somewhere, that one order takes to get, split up and put into the market. We're right around that point. So I still think that, it's not going to be this easy. It just can't be. But I mean, even in retrospect, we said that back before the June 2nd run up, we were talking about it, and we all knew that if this thing goes, they're not going to take it lying down. It's going to be a tough road ahead. But I think that they've exhausted a lot of their fucking options, man. I think they have. Again, we still got the rest of today, tomorrow, and Friday to see what all happens. But I think this right here is a good sign. I think that this right here they didn't want to have to do this because they are limited on shorts. They're limited on the short shares that they can get a hold of. Um, and I don't know, man. I don't know. Just gonna keep watching it. I'll definitely let you guys know, like tomorrow, if trying to buy options, if it on a day where it gets shoved down here and then it kind of looks like it's consolidating back up, it isn't getting slaughtered again. If there's good opportunities anywhere in here to buy some contracts, for a later date, and then hopefully in the morning, if this doesn't get killed sometime today and get, because that's still a possibility. It still is. That's not something you can just forget about and act like isn't a possibility. We watched it for a long time happen, but, I'm willing to risk what I put in there to see if can save a day trade, like at the end of the hour. That's another time, like I said, that it's not necessarily an awful time to buy. Once that first hour and a half is done, all the crazy shit's going on, and you can kind of gauge if you're going to be trending downward for the day or, maybe trending upward a little bit. That's still usually around the lowest part of the day if it's going to be trending upward, to grab some contracts and ride them into the next morning. And I'm hoping that this is going to be a continuing trend because of the dark pool shit, and hoping they're not going to have, just stacked up shorts that they're holding on to that they haven't sold into the market yet, that they're going to start, trying to stop this movement. We'll see. Again, so that's all everyone needs to understand, is all this shit is new. All of this is new. And it's just a matter of watching this shit, watching it every day, seeing what it does. It's all about fucking patterns, man. All of it. Every bit of this shit. Even real TA is about patterns, pattern recognition and shit. But this is just a different type of pattern because of what the fuck we've been dealing with. But this is good. I mean, looking at this shit right now, this is good. It's uptrend. This is, that was a nice shot they took. So hopefully we can get back around 38.70, maybe 39, maybe. We'll see. It may just, ride it through. But this is good. Seeing that is good. You lose about half of it. Hopefully it'll do the same thing. I can work with that. I can rock that out. But yep, just letting you guys know what I'm doing with some options contracts here to see if those are profitable. We already know the beginning of the day is a very profitable area if you time it right. So now we will find out if you can start buying options and not worry about having to blow through day trades. And I'll probably check back in the afternoon, see where we're at, see what's going on. See how poor old AMD's doing. They are just, they're killing. Like, this is intentional. This is fucking intentional. And I think they're trying to do the same thing. They're caught up with shorts here because AMD was, a company that was trying to be kept in check. And I think they're trying to keep this shit between like 104 and 110 and return some shorts in between. Kind of a similar thing. I don't know. Also, bear in mind the market is it's dangerous right now, guys. It's very dangerous. We're still in an economic downturn with everything. All this high reverse repo shit, that's not good. That's very, very bad. That means it's taking that much fucking money to keep this thing alive, meaning that motherfuckers are severely over leveraged across the board. So you could see massive, massive sell-offs anywhere at any time in the market, like anywhere. Don't know when. I'm not making. Hopefully not. Hopefully a lot of these other regulations tie into that too. and it'll kind of soften the blow of these sell-offs and shit that are gonna have to happen. And just hopefully it won't be as bad as it definitely could be. So let me get out of here. Keep an eye on this shit. I'll check back in the afternoon.